everybody, and welcome back to Welcome Grove Homestead. This video has taken a little bit of a sideways turn for me in that some of the projects that I was planning on working on and filming today, I will not be able to do. So working on a farm, there's always a risk, and one of those risks, especially when working with large animals, is that you're gonna get hurt. I did get hurt today. It's not super terrible, it's not super awful, but I do have to take it easy today. I got kicked by a cow. So you may remember from a previous video that we got a liquid nitrogen tank so that we can do AI, or artificial insemination, on our cows to get them bred. And dairy cows, great. We get them right in the window, right when they're in heat. They all took, or both, since Flopsy came to us already bred. But the other two cows are pregnant. The issue has been trying to get the beef cows bred, because I'm not handling them every day. It's a lot harder to detect when they are in heat, and we did get them all, like, I bred them, but unfortunately it looks like they just didn't take. So all three of them are open, which means not pregnant, and so we have decided to go ahead, and we're way past schedule on when we wanted them bred. So at this point, we just decided that we're going to go ahead and sink them. So that means giving them hormones to have them come into heat on a schedule. You breed them on a schedule, and you know when they're due, or when they're going to come into heat. So we, this morning, we're herding the cows up into the barn. That's not something that I'm really able to film when it's happening, because it's a lot of hiking through uneven ground, and I was carrying a bucket, so it was a lot of stuff. And so we had all three cows up at the barn, and two of them are heifers and one is a mature cow. And the first two, without a hitch, like, got the cedars placed. For those of you who don't know what a cedar is, it is something that we actually place in the cow and leave in her for a couple of weeks. So this cedar will actually secrete pregnancy hormones into the cow to make her body think that it's pregnant. And basically what happens is that we remove that cedar and we give her a shot of Ludelase, depending on the protocol. There's a couple of different protocols that we have to do, because one is a mature cow and the others are heifers. So the cedar gets removed, the body is no longer getting those pregnancy hormones, and depending on the protocol that you're using, you might use a shot of Ludelase, which is basically the hormone that causes her to come into heat and ovulate. So basically her body thinks that she was pregnant and had a miscarriage, and it will cause her body to start cycling again, but you're able to predict when it will cycle. So that's what we're doing. A little bit of a nerdy moment there, but so first two cows went off without a hitch, got the cedars placed, and the third animal, who was a heifer, and our jumpiest heifer at that, we had them, they were in the chute. And when I was working, we have a board that goes behind their rump so that they can't really move and shift too much and, you know, cause injury to me. But this girl was able to somehow, like, the board was still there and she was able to kick me still through the board, or under the board. So if that had not been there, it would for sure be a lot worse. But she did catch the side of my knee, wrenched my hip. Basically, both sides of my knee they're hurting pretty good. So I'm now in a knee brace. I'm hobbling around. I'm taking it easy, trying not to do too much, not walking over too many hills, things like that. First things first, you gotta take care of your body. So that's frustrating, because I had a lot to do. But that's a risk you take. David was not here. I had a friend of mine, Hannah, came over to help run the chute, and like, everything was going smoothly. And honestly, I don't think that David's presence would have changed anything about what happened. It was just a freak thing that happened. I'm okay. I hurt, but I will be fine. And we still got the cedar placed, and we still got the job done that we needed done. So now they all have their cedars, and Rapunzel, our mature cow, will be on a different protocol from Belle and Jasmine, our heifers. She will be bred a little bit sooner than they will, but we're hoping that it takes and all three of them will get pregnant. So these are the tips of her toes, and this is her heel right here. So I mean, you can see this is one whole claw of the cow's foot. So she nailed me. It's actually the actual bruising is down here in the side of my knee. So this is my knee brace right here. So she actually connected right around here with the toe of her claw. And so what happened is she connected, and I was at an angle because I had my arm in her back end. So I'm at an angle. She hit me right in the side of my knee, which angled my knee and wrenched my hip, and I hit this side of my knee on the squeeze. It's not ideal to get hurt, especially when you have this equipment that is designed specifically to avoid getting hurt. But unfortunately, it's like when you have to get in the back end of a cow, you have to be behind the cow. That's just how it is. So it's a risk that you take, and I wouldn't change it. I mean, would I rather not have cows and not get kicked? No. I enjoy working with the cows. I might give her the stink eye for a little bit, but she's just an animal. She was uncomfortable. I'm not mad at her. Alright guys, so we are actually like a week post kick, and I didn't have a whole lot of footage just because we had some weather come up, so we're kind of rolling a couple weeks here into one video. But we do have an update as far as the sheep. I did get my moving project done. We did not get it filmed because a storm was rolling in. It was super windy and rain was threatening, so it was like, we just got to get it done. We didn't have time to try and support the camera, blah blah blah. Excuses. But point is, sheep have been moved. But it turns out that Abel, our ram, had other plans. So you can see he is here in the pen with the ewes. His pen is over there with the dog. There's two fences there. There's the poly tape, and there's also a Premier One net behind it. Yeah, he's not in there anymore. So we had Abel and Daniel, our weather sheep, contained in that net, and apparently there wasn't enough of a gap between the fences, or honestly, I don't know that it would have stopped him anyway, but he jumped two fences in order to get to the ewes, and honestly, we reached, the first time that he was in there, I pulled him out, put him back in, and then he was actually witnessed jumping the fence, and it's like, yeah, there's nothing I can do to fix that. If he won't stay in there, there's really nothing I can do about it. So, breeding season was already pretty close anyway. It's only a couple of weeks away, so I just decided that rather than fighting him and having to move him away and deal with all of that, having to re-fence things again, it was like, so we'll have lambs a couple weeks early. That's fine. And he has actually been witnessed breeding 2 of the ewes already so far, so we have lambs on the way most likely. So it's exciting. It's a little frustrating, but lambing season will be in about mid to late February. So we had our first lambs this year born in the first week of February, and they did fine. So I think that it's going to be okay. We are working on, we're going to be building a new barn for them in their new pasture that we are putting them in. And so they will have plenty of shelter. They will have daily monitoring with the dog having to be fed. Like, It's not something that's going to be forgotten about. So I think that we'll be okay. I'm a little frustrated that he didn't want to abide by my schedule, but sometimes you just can't. You can't make animals see reason and plan the calendar. So it is what it is. Now, as for other projects that are going, we actually have some people here today that are doing some leveling and grading, getting ready for having a new structure put in. My dad wants to build a new barn to have a workshop in it for doing all of our little various building projects. So we've got guys here for that, which I'm going in the goat pen so that I can show you guys the angle for that, because it's right next to the goat pen. Now, the spot they're in right now is actually not where the structure itself is going, but our Connex boxes that we're using for storage have to move over so that the new barn can kind of go where they are. Those boxes are going to move this way. All this is getting leveled out. Now, as far as projects that we ourselves are personally actually working on, I have taken on the additional stalls here in the goat barn. So this one that I'm standing in right now was actually hay storage. This stall was actually hay storage last winter, and it needs to be prepped to be hay storage again. So I have been cleaning out a bunch of trash. There's a lot of fallen hay in here from the bales that we put up here to fill the goat hay feeders. So basically we have a bale here right now that we're breaking down and feeding to the goats gradually. And whenever that runs out, a lot of the bedding, or a lot of the hay in here can be bedding. The thing is, we don't really need bedding yet. However, we're going to need it. So I know that the boy barn is going to need to be, all that bedding is going to have to be mucked out and changed. So I think that a lot of the hay that's in here on the floor can end up going over there to be bedding, and it can just wait until winter when the bucks need to go over there, because they don't really need to be over there right now. They're being dry lotted temporarily. We're letting everything over there die back so we can muck out all that bedding, let it dry out, and then we can move this stuff in. So I think that's a really good option. Now, the other part of this barn is something that has had kind of no purpose yet. It's just been kind of miscellaneous storage, but I have a new plan for it. So the chicken situation has not been exactly what we want it to be, and it's still not going to be what we want it for a little while yet, because there's a priority list and you have to just follow that. And the chickens, like, we have a situation that works for them for now, so they're really not going to change for a while until we can get to them on our priority list. So I want to improve our current situation with the chickens. They're doing fine. They're in this pen right here, but I've got a bunch of grow out chickens that are going to be adding to this layer flock. So this little pen is not going to necessarily comfortably house that many chickens. Legally, yes, it will, but I think it would be better to give them a little bit more space. So what we're going to do is actually remove this coop structure because it's breaking down. It needs some work. It's still functional, yes, but the wire needs to be restretched, the zip ties need to be replaced, all that. And so it can be reused again. But what I want to do is expand the chicken coop to go all the way back to this wall. So we're going to enclose the space. Chicken wire does not keep predators out. However, the closeness of the dog does. We have not had a single loss from the chickens since they have been up here in fencing that honestly is barely even holding the chickens in. It needs some serious work, but honestly nothing has been getting in there because we have Bindi one stall over who she deters anything from coming over and bothering them. So I think that it's really just going to be a good idea to just go ahead and make them not permanent but semi-permanent in this location until we can get them into our mobile chickshaw situation that we want to do. Now our little calf, baby Karl, is almost 3 weeks old now. He has been in a 5x10 kennel for most of the time. He has come out for occasional little play dates, but for his safety, because we didn't have anywhere besides putting him in with goats, we kept him kind of penned up separately so that he couldn't get hit around by the goats. But today I'm going to go ahead and take him out and turn him out into the goat pasture and let him run around. He loves to run. So let's go ahead and get him out and get him running around on this beautiful sunny day. I know you want to run. I know. Hold on, we got to take this off. I know.